Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your mama's rich, and your daddy's good looking. So hush now, baby, don't you cry. One fine morning, you'll wake up singing. You'll spread your wings.
What do you mean by modern? Over the last 10 years or since?
Last like 20 years, 30 years.
Yes, you clearly have 1945, 1947, probably 59, 82, 09, and maybe 05. And there could be some discussions between 05 and 09, but clearly 09 is in that league, yes.
What do you think makes 09 unique?
In the case of Kos, it's high tannins, high alcohol, but it's also very high acidity. Therefore, you don't feel it. It's balanced, harmonious, and it's an excessive wine into a velvet hand.
I don't think I have ever tasted a young Margaux like this. And honestly, even going back to the great vintages we've made, like 05, 2000, that nose, that floral, what stand you at the beginning, I don't think I have ever smelled that. 6 months after bottling.
So do you think 2009 is the greatest modern vintage ever?
This is a real statement. I wouldn't go as far as that, but honestly, in my personal memory, from all the wines I have tasted when young, since the last 30 years, I don't think I have been as impressed as I am today with such a wine. Now, time will tell, we'll see, but I would be surprised if 09 doesn't emerge as one of the very few top, or maybe the best. Now, the real challenge is 010.
Because yours was phenomenal.
So that's the problem. But until 09, even 2000, even 2005, 2005 is a magnificent wine. It hasn't got that subtlety and complexity of nose, I think.
I think so, because for once you do have this huge amount of tannin. It's probably the highest content of tannin we've ever made, but the tannins are so ripe, so soft, and so round. They are just beautiful. As you recall, when you tasted them en primeur, I compared them to the beautiful curves of this lovely R&B singers. So I think it has kept this very charming, beautiful, round body, and that will give us pleasure forever, because
but it's well corseted with the tannins.
Yeah, exactly. No? You have a huge amount of tannin, pretty good acidity. It's wines that are meant to stay forever, but they are perfectly executed, I think, so they can be enjoyed very young.
This is probably one of the biggest vintage of the last 50 years at least. So we compare more or less to 09 to 1928.
Wow.
So it's, and today, 1928 are perfectly ripe, good, and start to be ready to be drunk.
We was very like a bit of exotic wine, and because the maturity of the 09 is totally complete with a very hot weather, hot temperature, and high level also in alcohol and in sugar at the beginning and so on. But now I'm quite surprised to see that we are coming back in a classic wine. We are in Pauillac. We are really at Lafite to see this wine with the complexity. The nose is not very open in my taste. Of course, after 6 months after the bottling, but the structure of the wine is very complete and going on and on, not with a lot of power, but just very good balance of the wine, and the end, at the end of the mouth, yes, you can understand that there is something quite strong in the wine. Not at the beginning.
Could you make a comparison? Is there any vintage that it reminds you of?
You know, it's very difficult to compare with another vintage because all the time I say that they are all different, like all the children's, but. Really, I think that we are in front of a real great Lafite, and I don't know yet at what time exactly we have to open the bottle and to enjoy really the wine, but I'm sure that it's going for a very long time.
That's an even more difficult question. because in 05 we had the impression that weather was perfect, and in 09 and 010 weather was perfect as well. So there are those very subtle factors which create a difference, but we don't know how to analyze them. And honestly, well, I could invent something, but very sincerely, I don't know. I totally understand people who enjoy drinking wines when very young, because this wine is just delicious to drink. So why tell them, oh, you should lay your cases down and wait until you're dead to drink them? It's hard to say, even if I know that this wine has the potential to develop something out of this world in half a century more.
Well, I think it already is. So just on the nose, it's a perfect wine. It's phenomenal. The nose, the minute you smell, you're like, what?
No, if you just want to know what makes, once again, the Cabernet Sauvignon of the best plots of Margaux so great, it's exactly this.
In fact, we don't know exactly what this vintage is so extraordinary. To me, you know, we have many, not so many, but we can say more or less 10 elements to Mija, and everything was aligned, like the stars in the sky, you know. It was a kind of, not a miracle, but it's very, very rare to get this kind of balance finally, and I think it's probably the way why this vintage is so interesting, so great.
So some things you can't explain by science, it's just...
No, we just observe, and finally all the constellations are aligned, you know. But we have the perfect acidity, we have the perfect richness in sugar, we have the perfect maturity of the tannins, we have the perfect weather for harvest, and the perfect sickle on the vineyard, etc. All the pieces we follow were very good, perfect.
It's in exactly the same league than the most extraordinary mystical vintages of Bordeaux. These wines, those who are very fortunate to be able to taste them now, they are extraordinarily young. So these wines can age forever, but also can be enjoyed at a very early stage, and that's the modernity of Bordeaux. I mean, you don't feel the oak.
Not at all.
It's fully integrated, and it was only bottled 6 months ago.
Amazing wine.
And I think Bordeaux has this extraordinary ability, because of our maritime climate, and when Mother Nature is kind to us, which was the case in 09, to produce these wines which are excessive, but classic, balanced, harmonious, and clearly 1945 Cheval Blanc, Mouton 45, were very certainly, with no doubt, in their very young age, the same style.